Hello and welcome back to Horror Fever Podcast. I'm Danielle.
And this is Mikey.
Today we're going to read another story from r/nosleep. We're not going to do this all the time, but this is what Mikey wants to do because he's nervous.
Got to get used to it. So I will, eventually. It'll take a few times, but I'll get it.
Okay, so this story is called My Sugar Daddy Asked Me for Weird Favors. It was posted 7 years ago by EAPATBP. And you're not going to do the woman.
Mm-mm.
Why?
Ain't no way. His Tinder profile said he was 45, but he looked to be in his early 30s at most.
For the dialogue.
That's why
For
my
the text
voice
messages.
sound.
Okay,
No.
for the text messages.
No.
His Tinder profile said he was 45, but he looked to be in his early 30s at most.
Looking for a sugar baby. 700 weekly. No sex.
It sounded too good to be true, but as a broke university student, I was willing to take my chances. I swiped right, and Tinder let me know it was a match. His message came seconds later.
Hey there, sweetheart.
You're supposed to say smiley face emoji. I cringed at that word. I hated it, but $700 was $700, so I sucked it up and replied, "Hey." His name was Jack, and he told me he owned his own business, although he never specified what kind of business it was. We talked for a while before he asked me for my Venmo to send me the first payment. After a few minutes, I got the notification. I stared at the $700 for at least 20 minutes, expecting to wake up from a dream at any second, but it wasn't a dream.
You still there?
I clicked on the message. Yeah, sorry if you don't mind me asking, what are you looking for in return? I stared at the chat until he replied.
I'm just looking for you to do a few favors for me.
That sounded like it was going to be sexual to me. Like what?
For example, the first thing I need you to do is pick up a delivery for me.
That sounded innocent enough, but I was still expecting there to be some kind of twist. $700 to pick up a package? Come on, even I wasn't that naive. From the post office or something?
No. I'll send you the address, but I'd rather not do this through Tinder. You got Kick? Or you can give me your number.
Kick, what was this, 2011? I decided to give him my number instead, and he texted me the address immediately, followed by the address to his house, where I would have to drop off the package.
I'm not home right now, but there's a key on the bottom of the blue flower pot near the door. Go inside and put the package on the coffee table in the living room. Make sure you lock the door while you go inside the house, and lock it again when you leave.
I grabbed my car keys and wallet and got into my car, putting the address into Google Maps. Got it. On my way. My phone buzzed as I backed out of the driveway.
I'm serious. Lock the door both times, please.
I thought that was a little excessive, but I promised him that I would. The house looked abandoned. It had a broken chain link fence around it with a small door that was hanging on to dear life. It stuck out like a sore thumb, surrounded by houses that were a lot nicer than this one in comparison.
You here for jack shit?
I looked up to see a man standing in the open doorway of the house. He took up almost the entire space, his head skimming the top of the doorframe. He was huge, in height and muscles, and his entire torso was covered in tattoos. Yeah, I guess, I replied, not moving from my spot on the sidewalk.
Stay right there.
I don't like that.
What?
I did. I actually don't think I would have moved if he asked me to. I looked around and realized that there was no one else on the street. I was a 21-year-old woman alone in the street. I gripped my car keys. A few minutes later, the man came out carrying a cardboard box. It was about the size of a shoebox, but stained and damp on some of the corners.
Can you open your car?
I don't like that voice.
I should have made him sound like, can you open your car?
No.
Imagine
A
a
big
strong
man.
a big muscular man. He'd be like, hello.
Oh my God. I opened the trunk, not wanting that inside on my car seats, and he set it in.
All right, there you go.
Thanks. I walked around to the driver's side of the car and opened the door.
Oh, and one more thing.
I looked up at him.
Watch out.
I didn't reply. I blasted my music as I drove to Jack's house, hoping it would drown out my anxiety. It didn't. I parked my car in the stone driveway and stayed inside the car, admiring the house. It was a huge house, with stone pillars on the front porch and the greenest grass I'd ever seen in my life. I turned the car off and got out. I grabbed the package and walked to the front door, getting the key from where he said it would be. Opened the door and stepped in, closing it behind me. Thought about what he had said about locking the door when I got inside. I thought that was a little overboard, but as I stared at the closed door, something made me reach out and lock it. I walked inside, my feet cushioned by the thick maroon carpet, and admired the inside of the house. All the furniture was wooden and looked incredibly expensive. I probably finished school a dozen times with the money that it took to furnish this place. I set the package down on the coffee table, and as I walked back to the door, I heard a phone ringing from somewhere inside the house. I froze. In my pocket, my phone buzzed. I took it out to look.
Don't answer any calls that aren't from Marvin.
I put my phone back and followed the sound of the phone, poking my head into a few different rooms before I found it in an office. I walked over to the desk and looked at the caller ID. Incoming call from Jack. That was odd. I grabbed my phone to look at the message again. I was starting to get a little creeped out, decided I wouldn't answer just to be safe, and left the house, remembering to lock the door as I left. I've done a few more favors for Jack since then. I drove a BMW to a random park in another city, only to get out and drive a different car back to Jack's house. He had me meet one of his employees at lunch, who then gave me a briefcase to deliver to the first house I'd gone to, and told me he would know if I looked inside. On several occasions, he asked for me to drive down to that same house and stay with the guy for a certain amount of time. In total, I've made around $3,500. Most recently, Jack asked me to stay in his house overnight. I woke up to a text message from him.
I need you to spend the night at my house.
I had never seen him in person, but I had talked to him on the phone a few times. He proceeded to tell me he'd pay me $1,000 to spend the night at his house, provided that I followed a few rules. Why is that so hard for me to say?
I'm having the same issues.
I drove to his house that evening. The driveway was empty, and it normally was, but the porch light was on. I walked up, unlocked the door, went inside, and then locked it again. Everything in the house looked the same. Jack had told me over the phone that he would leave the list of rules on the dining room table. I set all my stuff down in the living room. My bags looked like garbage compared to the fancy furniture in there. I wandered into the kitchen, and then into the dining room. Sure enough, there was a piece of paper on the wooden table, held down by an empty glass.
Lock the doors when you come in. Only answer calls from Marvin. Don't turn on any faucets between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Don't open the doors for anyone, no matter who they say they are, after 10 p.m. If the door to the closet at the end of the hall is open, sleep in the library. If closed, sleep in any of the bedrooms. The gardener comes at midnight. If he starts knocking on the windows, hide.
I don't like that.
Why?
If the gardener comes at midnight, if he's knocking on the windows?
Yeah, do not open the door. Don't trust the gardener. He ain't there to do no plants. He ain't there to garden nothing. Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Help yourself to anything in the fridge. I'll pay you in the morning. Good night.
I made sure to follow all the rules. To be honest, I was regretting my decision. But seeing as I was already here and I was getting paid, I decided to stay anyway. I figured as long as I followed all the rules, I'd be perfectly fine. Still, it felt a little odd. What was this, a haunted house? Nevertheless, I lounged around the house for a few hours, as I was planning on going to sleep around 9, since that's the time that all the weird shit would begin to happen. At 8:50, I brushed my teeth using the faucet for the last time before 9. I checked the closet in the hallway, and upon seeing that it was open, I moved my stuff into the library and got ready to sleep on the couch. I locked the doors just in case and laid on the couch, scrolling through my phone. I hadn't got any more messages from Jack, and I started to think up scenarios and reasons as to why he had such strict, peculiar sets of rules in his house. I had dozed off at some point because at exactly 10:16 p.m. I woke up to the doorbell ringing. I was about to get up to check, but then I remembered the rule.
Don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they say they are, after 10 p.m.
I stayed on the couch, trying not to move, paranoid that they would hear even the slightest sound.
It's the police. Open up.
I didn't move.
Hello? It's the police. Open up or we're coming in.
Why didn't you say hello, like screaming?
Oh.
Like, are the cops being polite until...
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Hello? It's the police. Open up or we're coming in.
You did it again. Why are you doing that? Why are you making them polite? Also, you're not talking into the mic. You need to move the mic. You need to move your head to the mic. No.
I hear. Am I not saying it polite?
You're making the police polite until they're telling them it's the police. Like, you're saying hello.
It does say hello.
Yeah, but they're screaming at the door to get them to open it, and you're like, hello. Oh, my God.
It's like hello, they're answering, right?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll do it again. Hello, it's the police. Open up or we're coming in.
I still didn't move, but I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. There was a silence for a while after that. Then the doorbell rang again.
Hey, it's Jack. Let me in.
You did it again. Why are you doing that? You're being so polite for the greetings.
Hey, it's Jack. Let me in.
It sounded like Jack, but still, I didn't get up. He would have a key, wouldn't he? Why would he need me to let him in? This continued for almost a full hour. Different people would ring the doorbell, announce themselves, and disappear when I didn't respond. That is creepy.
Hello, it's your grandma. Let me in.
Oh my God. I was finally able to sleep, and the gardener never came. I woke up the next morning. I heard someone in the kitchen. I got up slowly and unlocked the door as quietly as possible, taking my phone with me and walking across the living room and into the kitchen. I stopped at the entrance and peered in. It was Jack. He was standing in front of the stove, stirring something as the coffee machine brewed coffee on the counter behind him.
Hey, good morning.
He said when he saw me. Hi. I hadn't seen him in person before, but he looked exactly like his pictures online.
Scrambled eggs?
He asked, motioning to the pan with a wooden spoon. Yeah, thanks, I replied, walking over to take the plate from him. I ate my breakfast and drank some coffee in silence.
So, how was it?
It was okay. Nothing super freaky happened.
Cool.
There was an awkwardness in the room. I think I'm gonna go now. I have class. I didn't, but I really wanted to get out of there.
Oh, no. Yeah, sure. I'll talk to you some other time.
I grabbed my stuff and he walked me to my car. I could see him standing in the driveway staring at me as I left. When I got home, I unpacked all my stuff and noticed I still had the list with me. I sat on my bed and read it again. Felt my body tense up as I realized I'd forgotten something.
Turn the TV on. Let it play on the static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Do not forget to do this.
I stared at the words on the page until they lost meaning. Beside me, my phone buzzed, snapping me back to reality. It was the $1,000 payment. I looked at my phone, then back at the list. Maybe it wasn't an important step. As I was thinking this over, a text from Jack came in.
I'm not in town right now. I should be back next week. So if you're free from running any errands for me until then, just send the payment. Go do something fun.
I stared at the message and read it again, and once more for good measure.
I'm not in town right now.
I thought back to this morning and how Jack was in his house, how he gave me breakfast.
I'm not in town right now.
Within minutes, a new text came in, this time from a number that I didn't recognize.
Did you forget to do something?
Winky face emoji. Text was followed by a picture of Jack, or whoever this version of Jack was, standing in front of the TV. I didn't respond. Next came another picture. This was at the outside of my house. It was followed by another text.
Watch out. What was going on in this one? I'm confused.
She didn't follow the rules. I don't know. It sounds like some kind of paranormal thing because
She had everybody come to her house.
Well, it was clearly one like a Wendigo, a skinwalker, something like that.
Oh, that's what it seems like.
And they were just mimicking things, and then she didn't follow the rules, so it got in the house because she didn't turn the static on.
You always got to follow the rules.
You are the king of not following rules.
Oh, I hardly ever follow the rules. Follow the rules. And don't do drugs.
Where are drugs coming from?
That story is pretty good. I like that. I'd definitely give it probably like 8.5.
I really think that
it's pretty cool.
Like, imagine you just hear somebody banging on the windows and you just hear random people outside. Like, that's what makes it creepy to me.
That's why I like these stories. Anything to do with paranormal, I love. Can't get away from paranormal stuff. There's no hiding from paranormal. And that would be creepy. Hear something knock on your door and it's like different voices each and every time. Especially in the middle of the night.
Okay, since that one was kind of short, we're going to do another one. Same from r/nosleep. This one is from user _Marie_me. And it's called I Know You're Not Supposed to Meet People from Reddit. I knew that before I made the post. I knew that while I was typing platonic only please. And I definitely knew that when I added a selfie, which wasn't my smartest choice. But I'd just gotten a cute haircut and I'd finally gotten my eyeliner to match on both eyes. I was bored and restless and lonely, and I was tired of bothering the same 3 friends with the same 3 complaints. I said I was looking for platonic relationships because the last person I met hurt me more than I wanted to admit. The post was on r/make new friends here. I said I was 28 female looking for friends between 25 and 30. Within an hour, I had more than 100 DMs. Damn. Most were from men. Okay, never mind. It makes sense. Oh. Some were normal for a few messages before becoming really weird. Some were really lonely in a way that made me feel guilty for not answering. Some weren't trying to be normal at all. They asked if I was single, where I lived, what I slept in, and what platonic meant, as if they could talk me out of my own request. Why are men so fucking weird?
Men can be really weird, trust me.
No, they're not can be. They are.
They are weird. 100%.
I don't like men. 2 women messaged me. One ghosted after asking what shows I liked, and the other invited me to a Discord server with too many channels and a long list of rules, so I wished her good luck and closed the app. Then he messaged me. His first message was,
"Where are your features from?"
I almost clicked ignore. I've gotten that question in one form or another my entire life. Where are you from? Where are you really from? Are you native? Are you Spanish? Are you mixed? Have you done a DNA test? You look like my cousin. You look like a painting I once saw. Why would you tell somebody you're interested in that they look like your cousin?
What?
You look exotic. People always think they're being original when they ask, but they never really are. Then he sent another message.
I'm sorry. That was badly asked. Your face reminds me of icons from my grandmother's house.
Is this person transatlantic?
I don't know.
You were doing a transatlantic accent. I stared at that for a long time. It made me uncomfortable, which was probably why I answered. I wasn't even paying attention to what he said. You took me way off guard with you sound like James Patrick March in American Horror Story Hotel. You sound like Evan Peters when he's...
I get some different voices.
Oh my God. My family history has always been a room where everyone talks over each other. Mexican, yes. Indigenous, probably. Spanish, maybe. Mestizo, likely. A great-grandmother nobody liked to describe. A grandfather who changed the subject. No one agrees on anything. And everyone acts like they know more than they're saying. So I asked him what he meant. His name's Andres, but he asked me to call him Ari. He's Greek by origin, born in Thessaloniki, raised partly in Finland, and living in a city whose name I couldn't pronounce without feeling like my mouth was full of snow. What? He's 21, which was under the age range I'd put in the post. Anybody under 25 needs to go on and get somewhere, because your frontal lobe is not cooked. Now she needs to get off this. She should have not met this person to begin with. He told me that immediately. I should have stopped there. Yes, you should have. But he apologized so plainly that it made me feel like I was in control of the conversation.
No, I'm too young for your post. I only wanted to ask a question. You don't have to answer anything else.
Also, I like how your person is transatlantic, but he's 21, and that accent died like in 50s.
Well, this guy's got it.
That was the second reason I answered. He didn't try to be charming. He was almost a bit formal. He asked questions. He was formal and you're making him Okay, well, you got it right then. He asked
Really?
Yeah.
This is random.
He asked questions and waited for the answers. He didn't feel the silence when I took too long. He didn't send shirtless pics or late night messages pretending to be casual. When he finally sent a picture of himself, he was standing far from the mirror with both hands visible as if he was proving he had nothing to hide. He looked kind. He almost looked tired. His face was narrow, his hair was dark and curly, and his eyes seemed older than the rest of him. In the second picture he sent me, snow was pressed against the window behind him. A little blue charm hung over the doorway. I asked what it was.
For the evil eye.
Do you believe in that?
My mother does.
That's how he talked about anything strange. He never said he particularly believed in something himself. He always gave the beliefs to somebody else. My mother says, my grandmother used to tell us, people know better than to, etc., etc. I thought it was interesting and probably cultural. At first we talked about ancestry. Mine because he'd asked. His because I asked back. Yeah, that's usually how conversations work. He told me about Greece and Finland in alternating pieces as if neither place had fully claimed him yet. He sent pictures of food his mother made and dishes he tried to recreate, albeit terribly. He sent snow from his window. He sent voice notes while walking home, his breath catching in the cold. I started waiting for the voice notes, but slowly I started needing them. There's no dignified way to describe becoming attached to someone through a screen. You start by replying when you have time, then you start making time. You realize your day has quietly rearranged itself around a person who isn't physically in it. You learn the sound of his kettle, his radiator, the way his voice changes when he's lying in bed, and try not to fall asleep before you finish an anecdote. Ari learned me quickly. He noticed when I was pretending to be fine. He remembered names I mentioned once. He asked about the person I'd lost before him, the one from Reddit, the one I told him had broken my heart. His name was Owen. I told him we'd met the same way through a friendship post. I said we talked for months. We went on 2 dates and then he disappeared. He deleted his account, stopped answering, and vanished so completely that I started to wonder if I'd invented the whole thing. Ari was quiet after I told him.
Did he say goodbye?
He didn't. Now you're not doing the voice anymore.
Did he say goodbye?
That's still not it. He looked down for a second.
I'm sorry.
What? Now you're just freaking.
I'm sorry.
I smiled at the screen because I thought he meant the usual thing people mean when they say that. It's fine, I said. People leave. Ari nodded, but his face had gone strange. That was Ari. He could be sweet for an hour, and then one sentence would make the room around me feel colder. He could talk about lemon soup or Finnish licorice or the neighbor upstairs who vacuumed every Sunday like she was trying to punish the floor. I'd say something ordinary, and his eyes would move past the camera toward the blue charm above his door. Once, during a video call, he asked me to turn my camera away from the mirror behind me. Why?
I don't like seeing you twice.
I teased him for that and he smiled. Another time, I woke up to a message he sent at 4 in the morning his time.
Marie, do you ever wake up hungry?
I typed back, every single day, I'm Mexican. He didn't answer for 6 hours, and when he finally did, he wrote,
Forget I asked. I was half asleep.
By month 3, our conversations weren't platonic anymore. By month 4, I was making jokes about being a crib robber. I'm 28, which isn't actually old. Please don't tell me otherwise. 21-year-olds have a way of making you feel like you should be buying retinol in bulk and discussing retirement. He hated the jokes.
You're not that old?
He said, his voice rising at the word that. He smiled then, but his smile never lasted as long as it should have. By month 6, I was going to Finland. Before anyone says it, I did the safety things, okay? I booked my own hotel. I sent my friend his full name, address, phone number, social media, and every screenshot I had. She made a folder called If Marie Dies in Finland. We were supposed to meet in public, dinner first, no going straight to his apartment, no airport pickup. I wanted to see the auras with him. That was the image that did it. I wanted to stand somewhere freezing and dark while the sky moved purple and green above us, with Ari beside me, real and warm and no longer flattened into pixels. He promised to take me to the frozen harbor, the little Greek grocery where the owner overfed him, the cafe with...
What is that word?
I don't...
Korvapusti.
I'm sure it's like
Korvapusti.
Okay.
Finland, that's where Billy Vallow's from.
I finished cinnamon cardamom buns that shaped like little folded ears. They sounded delicious. Eventually, if everything felt normal, his apartment where he said he'd make... I'm not looking...
What's up with all these words?
I'm not... I don't have time for all this. So, he's making her some kind of food. If she swore not to judge his kitchen. I landed on a Friday. He was waiting at the airport even though we'd agreed he wouldn't be. I was annoyed for maybe 3 seconds and then I saw the flowers in his nervous face. He stood near the arrival gate, shifting the little paper-wrapped bouquet from one hand to the other like he didn't know what to do with it anymore. He looked exactly like himself and not like himself at all. He was taller than I expected, thinner than I expected, and more beautiful in the way real people are beautiful when you can see how badly they've been sleeping.
You came.
You keep saying that like I broke into the country. For a moment, he smiled like the man I knew. Then he looked at the blank space between my jaw and shoulder. I turned, but there was no one there. The first day was almost perfect. We walked through snow. We drank coffee too hot to taste. He bought me a pastry and laughed when powdered sugar got on my coat. He showed me the harbor and the church his mother liked and the grocery where a man behind the counter said something in Greek that made Ari flush to his ears. He held my hand. At dinner, he ordered too much food and ate almost none of it.
You okay?
That's not you.
You okay?
That's not you. Oh. Are you okay? I asked. He looked at my mouth before answering. That's you.
Yes.
That wasn't convincing.
I'm nervous.
Because I'm older, wiser, and more powerful?
No, because you're really here.
Well, that was the plan.
I know.
You're acting like I showed up unannounced. He looked at me then, quick and almost guilty.
I know.
I remembered him saying one day. I remember him saying if you were here. I remembered him sending apartment photos and aura forecasts and telling me which month would be best. I thought you wanted me here. He opened his mouth like he was going to answer, then looked down at his plate instead. After dinner, he walked me back to my hotel. The snow had gotten softer by then. Bigger flakes, slower falling. I kept brushing my shoulder against his because I wanted him to stop being so strange. I wanted him to turn back into the man from the phone. At the hotel entrance, he stopped.
You should go inside.
You're sending me to bed? Alone? I know, no hanging out in private places with the internet man you flew across the country to meet. But by then I was starting to fall in love with him, which made every bad idea feel a little less like a bad idea.
Must be tired.
I crossed an ocean, of course I'm a little tired.
Please?
He was standing so close and the snow had melted into his hair, making the curls darker on his forehead. His cheeks were red from the cold and he had this nervous little crease between his eyebrows. The same one I'd watched appear on video calls whenever he was trying to translate a thought before saying it out loud. He looked like the person I'd been falling asleep with in my ear for months, real and tired and warm under his coat. I wanted to kiss the worry off of his face, so I did. A small kiss. His mouth was cold from the air but softer than I expected and his fingers tightened around the paper-wrapped flowers in my hand. For half a second he kissed me back. Then he pulled away hard enough to stumble.
Sorry.
For what? He touched his mouth like he was checking for something.
My mother said not to bring you home tonight.
If he talks like that, I wouldn't want to go home.
I don't either. Get the hell out of here.
I stared at him. Ari, that's a weird thing to say after kissing someone.
It's not about that.
Then what is it about? Looked at the hotel doors behind me, then at the flowers in my hand. The paper had gone soft where the snow melted into it.
She worries.
About me?
About me.
I laughed because I was embarrassed. I'm not dangerous. He looked at me for a second too long.
I know.
The next day...
My mama said.
Is it the water boy?
That's what it reminds me of. My mama.
Mama said
My mother
all
said
them,
not to bring you. My mama said
them
girls are the
alligators
devil.
are ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
My mama said, do not take her home tonight. She's the devil.
The next day, he apologized. He said he'd slept badly. He said his mother was super intense. He said she'd called me something in Greek and that he didn't want to translate. Translate it.
No.
Does it mean I'm ugly? He looked at me for a long moment.
It means she should mind her own business.
That night, I went to his apartment. His building was old with yellow light in the stairwell and boots lined up outside doors. His apartment smelled like radiator heat, coffee, and him. The blue cabinets were real. The ugly lamp was real. The sweater he always wore during video calls hung over the back of a chair. I remember feeling almost dizzy with tenderness. 6 months of proof had become real. He made tea. I stood in his kitchen wearing wool socks because he'd asked me to take off my shoes. He was moving around too much, touching things and then not using them. Kettle, a mug, a spoon, the box of tea. He kept starting little tasks and abandoning them halfway through, like his body had too much feeling in it and nowhere to direct it. I would be getting out of there.
This
He's
guy
nervous.
seems fishy.
He's nervous. But you
Something's
literally
going
do
on.
the same thing.
He might be nervous. I mean, it's possible.
You are always nervous.
I
You're
don't know,
nervous in your
24/7.
sleep.
Anxiety.
It was really cute. He was blushing all the way to his ears and his curls were still damp from the snow. Every time I looked at him directly, he looked down like I'd caught him doing something embarrassing. This is written about you. I'm sorry.
Seems like it.
You know, you don't have to make tea if you don't want tea.
I want to make you tea.
You're just standing there holding a spoon. He looked at the spoon in his hand like he had no idea how it got there. Then he laughed and I felt ridiculous for being worried. Your laugh is too late.
Oh, yeah.
He made awful tea, somehow. I didn't even know you could make tea badly, but he managed it. He put too much water in one mug and not enough in the other, forgot whether I wanted sugar, apologized twice, then almost burned his fingers picking up the cup. I told him he was giving me confidence in my own domestic skills, which are relatively low. He smiled at that, but the smile faded quickly. You're okay?
Yes.
You don't seem okay.
I'm just nervous.
Ari, I'm also nervous. He nodded, but he looked past me toward the hallway. I followed his eyes. Nothing was there except his coat hanging on a hook and the little blue charm above the door. The same one from his pictures. Is your mom gonna bust in and interrogate me?
No.
Good, because I only know how to say good morning in Greek and I don't think that'll help my case. That got a real smile out of him. Then I stepped closer and he went still. I think he was just trying to be careful. I think he was one of those guys who wanted so badly not to make you uncomfortable that they accidentally make everything more awkward. It made me like him more. You know you can touch me. His eyes moved to my lips and then away.
I know.
But you don't have to.
I know that too.
I was tired and far from home and very, very in love with the version of him I'd carried across the ocean. So I did what I'd already done 100 times before, in smaller ways, through a screen. I kissed him first, and when I did, he made a sound like relief. He was scared. I knew he was scared. I would be getting out of there.
Yeah, this seems a little crazy.
His hands came to my waist like he still wasn't sure he was allowed to touch me, and then his fingers curled into my sweater. He was trembling, but I was too.
What is going on here?
Nerves, wanting, the absurd, impossible fact of finally being in the same room after all the time. Touched his cheek and he closed his eyes. That's what undid me. He looked so young like that. His mouth was cold from the walk, soft when it opened under mine, and he kissed me carefully at first, like he was afraid of doing it wrong. Then he kissed me harder, and for a moment there was no Reddit, no flight, no warning signs, no little blue charm above the door. There was only his hand at my waist, my fingers in his hair, radiator knocking the wall, and the snow falling outside his kitchen window. This was what I'd come all that way for. Then his breath caught and my jaw slipped. I pulled back because I thought I'd hurt myself and I was embarrassed. I could barely look at him. I thought, great. I flew to Finland to kiss this beautiful guy and somehow dislocated my own mouth. Then Ari looked at me, not at my eyes but at my mouth, and whatever expression was on his face made the whole kitchen go still.
Marie.
I tried to answer him, but my tongue was in the wrong place. My teeth didn't meet. Ari stepped back and I stepped forward. He said my name again. His eyes kept dropping to my mouth and then lifting back to my face like he was trying really hard not to look. I wanted to tell him I was sorry and that I was scared too, but I couldn't. Instead, I put both hands on his face gently. His skin was warm under my palms, his mouth open like he was going to say something, but my mouth opened wider. There was a wet click near my ear and Ari made a sound I never heard from him before, too surprised to be a scream. I pressed his forehead against the roof of my mouth. Her mouth is open that much? Oh my god, it's like that commercial.
It's like a cartoon
You know
character.
that commercial where that girl's laughing and her mouth like opens really wide?
I don't remember that.
Oh my god.
Those cartoons, their mouth drops to the floor.
It's Beetlejuice whenever
Oh,
she
yeah.
pulls her mouth open. His hands hit my wrist, then my shoulders, then the side of my neck. He was trying to push himself out, but there was nowhere for him to push against because I'd already leaned over him. Oh my God, is the taking of Deborah Logan when she's eating that little girl in the cave? Talking about.
Not too much, no.
Oh my God. Do you
Not
know?
right off, anyways.
Yeah, because you was probably watching that movie and was probably asleep.
Oh, yeah, probably. I do fall asleep during movies.
The back of his head slid past my teeth. Then the tea glass dropped and broke against the floor. His body kicked hard enough that one heel struck the cabinet, the blue cabinet, the one I'd seen behind him for 6 months while he made coffee, while he leaned against the counter during video calls. His fingers grabbed my sweater and twisted the fabric. His knees buckled and I went down with him, still holding him like I was comforting him, nurturing him. His breath filled me, hot and panicked, and then finally his breath stopped. I could feel the shape of him fighting me, his jaw, his throat, the hard line of his shoulders. My own throat widened around him with a slow ache and my ribs opened in small clicks. I felt more than I heard. Ari's hands weakened against me. One of them slid down my arm and caught at my sleeve like he was still trying to hold on to the version of me that had arrived in his apartment with flowers in her hand. There really wasn't any pain. There was only room. I stopped thinking in full thoughts. I remember the floor under my knees. I remember his sleeve bunched in my hand. I remember the sound his foot made against the cabinet when his leg kicked once and then stopped. When the last of him passed my teeth, I was kneeling on his kitchen floor in my wool socks, one hand against the cabinet, breathing through my nose. The radiator knocked in the wall. The snow kept falling outside the window. There was a strand of his curly hair stuck to my lip. He tasted like lemon, and mostly I felt full. Then I remembered Owen. I didn't remember everything, only pieces at first. His nervous laugh, his hand on my back, the way he'd look at me, so hopeful it embarrassed both of us. I remember crying when he was gone. I remember telling people he'd broken my heart. I started crying now too, right there on Ari's kitchen floor. It's Trisha Paytas. With broken glass near my knee and lemon still in my mouth, because why do they have to disappear? Ari's phone buzzed on the table. The screen lit up with a message from his mother. It was in Greek, but I recognized one word immediately.
What's that say, Lemia?
Limia,
It's like Lamia or something.
I knew that word. I don't know Greek, but I know what people call girls like me when they have old names for it. And there's just a bunch of names. I'm going to look up what that means. Okay, so Lamia...
She's the fucking devil, so mama was right. Girls are the devil.
Is a monstrous creature from ancient Greek mythology, typically depicted with the upper body of a beautiful woman and the lower body of a serpent. So in folklore, they are known as nightmarish predators who lure and seduce young men and prey on children.
You should listen to your mother.
I knew that word. I don't know Greek, but I know what people call girls like me when they have old names for it, and then it's like a bunch of the names. Different languages, same warning. Different mothers telling their sons not to invite me in. The message stayed there until the screen went dark. I opened my own phone after that. My Reddit post was still up. There were new messages waiting. Men saying hi. Hey, saw your selfie. I'm lonely too. Platonic is fine. You have interesting eyes. Where are you from? You look familiar. Where are your features from? I know I should delete it, but the thing is, I keep getting my heart broken. They always disappear before it works out.
That was definitely a plot twist. I thought something was up with him.
The whole
I thought
time-
he was going to be... Something was going on with him.
Yeah, because he was so nervous.
Mama was right. Mama was trying to warn him.
Yeah, well, maybe in that case you should listen to your
My
mom.
mama said, girls are the devil. You should listen to her. That was a good story, though. I enjoyed that. That was really good.
I didn't like how she kept talking about each detail, though, like over and over, like the blue cabinet, the blue
that's
cabinet.
stupid.
That was
I ain't
kind
not
of
worried about that.
stupid.
Nobody cares what the kitchen looks like. He fixed you tea. What's it matter?
She said
He's
it
trying
was
to fix
bad
you tea.
Well, I liked both stories.
Both stories are great, but that one was definitely a plot twist. I did not expect that.
Well, that one's good if you like mythology, which I don't really know that much about.
It definitely
so.
wasn't a paranormal for once.
Okay, well, that's it for this episode.
Hopefully you liked that one.
If you have any suggestions for a story you want us to read, then leave them. We're not doing stories all the time. I don't want to do that all the time. Since we're married and he gets to say so, this is
It's
what
just-
he wanted to do today.
These are a lot easier for me. Kind of a learning curve for me. We do have a lot planned out for movie reviews.
Yeah, so if you have a movie you want us to... What we're going to do is like a recap and then review it as we're doing it. But yeah, I've been on social media for a lot longer. Like, I used to do YouTube and stuff, so I know what to do, and he doesn't.
I'm a rookie, so I apologize for that. I got it.
Okay, bye.
We will see you in the next episode.